Hola a todos y bienvenidos un día más a Momentum 3.0, el lugar donde tomamos nuestras propias decisiones financieras. Ahora, hoy voy a hablar sobre Trustline y después vamos a tener la entrevista con Matthew Rosendin en inglés. Sí que podéis poner los subtítulos, pero creo que dan error. Así que voy a intentar subir una transcripción y compartirla con vosotros debajo en la descripción. Y también es verdad que voy a intentar profesionalizar mucho más esa parte. Así que si estáis interesados en mejorar vuestro nivel de inglés, quedaos con la entrevista y si no, también podéis abrir un documento en el que vayáis haciendo la transcripción y después traducirlo. De momento me voy a centrar en el público que habla inglés porque bueno, al final tenéis esta explicación breve y si queréis profundizar un poquito más podéis usar el traductor. Creo que es muy interesante tener instalada la traducción de Google Translator y, bueno, pues, por ejemplo, en Twitter, aprender de los proyectos, que es interesantísimo y muy potente. Os resumo en qué consiste el proyecto. El proyecto Trustline se centra en emitir una moneda estable que se va a llamar Array y va a ser también una moneda estable en XRP, como vemos en mi tweet, que es una traducción del tweet de Trustline. Array es una moneda estable, libre de emisiones, es decir, respetuosa con el medio ambiente, que estará respaldada por XRP y Flare, con Flare en este caso Spark FLR, con tarifas de transacción de un centavo, por lo tanto no llega a 0,1 dólar, muy bajos costes de transacción, y la aplicación Trustline contará con pagos en divisas sin custodia, es decir, no tendremos un custodio, no tendremos un banco, entre comillas, que guarde nuestro dinero, sino que seremos los responsables de la custodia de guardar nuestras claves privadas. Véase, tendremos una clave privada, unas palabras de recuperación y si perdemos esas claves no podemos llamar a nadie, no podemos llamar a Matthew y decirle necesito recuperar mis claves. No, no vamos a poder. Por lo tanto, debemos anticiparnos y debemos saber que existe ese riesgo. Por lo tanto, debemos ser responsables de nuestro propio dinero, de nuestro propio capital. Por último, vamos a poder ahorrar y prestar y tomar prestado de forma descentralizada a través de ProbityDAO. Os recomiendo seguir a ProbityDAO y os recomiendo seguir a Trustline, ¿vale? Porque es donde vamos a tener novedades. Aquí tendremos muchas novedades. De momento se está trabajando de puertas para adentro, no tanto de puertas para afuera, porque todavía necesitamos más desarrollo de Flare, más desarrollo de Songbird. Muchos estáis preguntando, ¿y cuándo vamos a tener FLR? ¿Y cuándo vamos a recibir nuestro Songbird en Binance, en Coinbase, donde sea? Efectivamente, se está demorando el asunto, pero hay que tener paciencia. No se construyó Roma en un día y por eso tenemos que insistir mucho en la paciencia. Tenemos la testnet, que en este caso sí que se está utilizando, y de momento paciencia, porque no hay una mainnet donde perder un montón de dinero si no se hacen las cosas bien. Por lo tanto, paciencia porque estará la mainnet, pero solo cuando esté lista. Así que podemos ir aprendiendo, podemos ir entendiendo mejor cómo funcionan estos sistemas y estar suscritos al Twitter de cada uno de los proyectos es una forma muy buena de ir un paso por delante. Tenemos este artículo que vamos a analizar brevemente que se centra en la interoperabilidad. Matthew y yo hemos hablado sobre este tema, sobre cómo la interoperabilidad va a ser clave en el mundo cripto y efectivamente vamos a tener un puente que se va a llamar Solaris que va a hacer la conexión entre XRPL, la blockchain de XRP y Flare. Tenemos un cross-chain bridge que va a servir para conectar las redes. Al final del día lo que nos interesa es tener monedas estables sobre XRP para no tener que gastar nuestro XRP, sino poder utilizarlo como garantía para emitir monedas estables. Ahí creo que muchísima gente coincide y ve esta forma de transaccionar y de gastar sin necesidad de pagar en criptomonedas, que al final del día tienen sus fluctuaciones, tienen sus desventajas, especialmente a nivel de compliance, de cumplimiento normativo, a nivel de contabilidad, a nivel de impuestos. Por lo tanto, tener monedas estables que estén ancladas al dólar o ancladas al euro es una ventaja inmensa, increíble. Así que soy muy optimista con Array y también soy muy optimista con Trustline. Así que os dejo con la entrevista. Por supuesto, podéis también preguntarme más en detalle qué opinión tengo del proyecto y personalmente creo que va a ir muy bien. De hecho, vamos a tener también colaterales de RC20, esas monedas que se van a poder seguir, que se van a poder mimetizar en Flare. Por lo tanto, va a haber muchísimas oportunidades con Flare Finance, con Flare Networks, con Songbird. Así que estad suscritos al canal porque va a ser un viaje impresionante y muy, muy interesante. Un abrazo. Os recuerdo que nada de lo que comente constituye asesoramiento financiero ni consejo de inversión, por lo tanto debéis hacer vuestra propia investigación y debéis tener en cuenta que todos estos proyectos pueden salir mal, pueden irse a cero y que sois responsables de vuestro propio capital. La mayoría de los proyectos necesita tiempo para madurar y, por supuesto, cuando son tan ambiciosos y de una envergadura tan grande, necesitamos ser especialmente prudentes a la hora de crear expectativas que sean desmedidas o que no vayan en consonancia con lo que estimamos racional y lo que estimamos oportuno en los ciclos de mercado. Por lo tanto, vamos con la entrevista y en breves también podremos profundizar más en este tipo de contenido. Hello and welcome to Momentum 3.0, the place where we take our own financial decisions now. Here we are with Matthew Rosentin again, the second time that he comes to the channel. So we will be talking about Flare, we will be talking about Trustline and also XRPL. So if you didn't see the previous interview, I will link it in the description below. Welcome, Matthew. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adrian. It's good to be here again.
So let's talk about Songbird, the new network that we have right now. Which plans do you have for this new network? And how can we expect the main launch of the token? Or what plans do you have?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot to talk about with the Songbird launch plan and the Flare launch plan. There's going to be a blog post that I'm going to write up that's going to have the full details. But what I will say now is that there's actually going to be a different token on the Songbird network, a different stable coin that is, and it's going to go by the name of Phi, PHI. So like the Greek letter, the symbol is going to be the Greek letter Phi. The currency code is going to be PHI. It's actually based off of the Phoenix coin that the Greeks adopted, you know, and there was like a 1988 Time article or you know, it was some magazine that actually, you know, had the Phoenix currency on its cover. And so this currency was called Phoenix, and it was meant to represent sort of the rebirth of, you know, the Greek currency. And I see kind of, you know, Phi on Songbird being like the rebirth of currency in its digital form. After, you know, maybe we're going through the death of fiat right now, or we're kind of headed in that general direction. And so I thought it was aptly to name this fee. And then of course we have Ore, which is going to be on the Flare network. And so we have fee and Ore, Songbird and Flare. We're naming these two differently because we want to be able to differentiate between the two of them. They may have slightly different prices, variations in the price because of, one of them being on the experimental finance network of Songbird and one of them being on the Flare mainnet, which is expected to be much more stable and robust. And so since both of those tokens will exist on the XRP ledger mainnet, we want to ensure that there's no confusion over the two of them and that they can be traded differently.
Great. What is your opinion about Songbird? Do you think that it has been technically viable? Do you see a future for Songbird or just like a testnet for Flare? What is your opinion about the blockchain?
Well, it's got it's already kind of like on day one. It's kind of amassed a lot of value, and the analog is the Kusama network on related to the Polkadot project. And so the Kusama chain is a Canary network as well. It has attracted a fair amount of value. And so I expect that Songbird will be pretty important in that way. It will be for the bleeding edge of crypto, and then Flare itself will be the chain for the time tested DeFi software that is in a sort of production environment that I think in the coming years will be able to service like financial institutions who can plug into it. This is like kind of what I'm envisioning if we're moving in that direction. Flare is going to be offering that. They have Songbird as the network to test these things out and make sure that it's safe for the Flare network.
Great. And do you plan to ICO or STO or whatever the token of Trustline?
No, there's no plans for that because ICO regulation is just not something that we can really, we don't really have a strategy for that. I mean, the point is to create a stable store of value. Everything is kind of mined through the liquidity mining in the platform itself. So the way that you earn the tokens is that you supply liquidity and you get tokens out of that, and that is the governance token. And we just wanted to make sure that we're on safe footing with the regulators in the United States. Certainly there could be ways to improve the system that might involve actually having a token that can accrue value and kind of appreciate, but we're not looking at that right now. That could be something in the future if we also deem it safe from the regulatory perspective. We would consider going down that route, sort of like how MakerDAO has a MKR token, but at this point, we are not looking too closely into that yet.
Okay. What about an airdrop? Do you see it as an option, or what do you think about that?
I mean, I think airdrops are really great. It's kind of hard to do with a stablecoin platform, though. If you're giving away free tokens, it's like giving away free money. I mean, the stablecoins have to be backed by value, and I mean, certainly that might play a factor in the Trustline app. But until we are, feel like we have the ability to just give out, free money, we're holding off on those plans.
Okay, great. And which plans do you have for integrating with other blockchains or other bridges? Can you talk about Solaris, for example?
Yeah, so we are integrating with the XRP ledger and Flare and Songbird networks. So Solaris is the bridge between those networks. Um, and it's very, it's going to be a seamless experience where you can just transfer to the XRP ledger or back to Flare or Songbird. We're building like a developer SDK. It's utilizing the Flare state connector technology. It's actually a one-of-a-kind bridge because there's typically this sort of trilemma that all bridge projects face, where they have to choose two out of the three aspects of having a bridge and benefits of it. You can't have all of these three different aspects, and I think it's like scalability and like extensibility, and the other one's escaping me right now. I need to pull up that article and read it, but this Solaris bridge solves all of those problems, this trilemma. So it's really one of a kind. I'm extremely excited about it. So that's part of what we're doing in terms of interoperability. We also hope to be integrating with other projects, on the Flare network. For example, Flare Finance, a lot of people have said that they would love to see Ore on, Flare X, or, whatever the other apps are to, that can use other tokens. It should be possible through a governance vote, and really it's up to whoever is participating out there. If you're participating in Flare Finance, you should let them know that you want the stable coin to be used in the project, because the Flare Finance team will not make that decision for you. So definitely vote for that through governance. That'll get the projects working together on Flare, and I think that's incredibly exciting.
Great. And do you plan to build your own AMM, your own liquidity mining program? Tell us about DeFi and what do you plan to do about it?
Yeah, so with Probity, this is the decentralized app, and it's going to be launching on Songbird and Flare. So we know that, right? And kind of how it works is you create these collateralized debt positions that allows you to either borrow or supply the stable coins. And if you're supplying the coin, then you're getting yield. The collateral in your vault is also delegatable to the Flare time series oracle, and so you're earning those rewards on top of the yield that you're getting from borrowers. And so that's the DeFi application, and whether and how an AMM fits into that. Well, the stable coins can again be traded on Flare X, but we had also considered creating a AMM on the Flare platform. We may still consider doing that if it makes sense, which it might, because we may want to develop sort of our own stablecoin markets. TBD. Right now, it's possible or will be possible to trade Ore or Fee on the XRP ledger decentralized exchange. But we do want that easy sort of liquidity bootstrapping that AMMs provide. Another interesting thing is that there has been discussion around AMMs on the XRP ledger. I'm not certain where that project is right now. It's probably in the early innings for that project, but it sounds interesting. And yeah, we're certainly not against building a AMM on Flare, because I think, it definitely could make it much easier to trade different pairs, with the stable coins, fee and ore.
Great. So maybe we can follow the conversation once we have more information, more news about Flare, about Songbird. We took notes and I'll explain it to the audience in order to be more focused on these details. And do you want to let us know anything more about the project or about Flare or projects that you have?
Well, I would say just stay tuned for whatever blog post is coming out. That's going to detail the sort of launch details for Songbird, and then of course, that will go on until Flare Network comes live, and then that will be, the more official launch. But I think, uh, it would be great, to have early participation, and I will definitely do everything that I can do to make sure that folks are kind of educated on what they're doing when interacting with the software system. That's incredibly important. And I just wanted to say, what's being built here is intended to kind of be kind of like it's not necessarily the probity system is not necessarily a for-profit system. It's kind of like a way to uh, create a global cooperative for people who, kind of like a credit union, if you're familiar with that concept, how instead of a bank, you have people who come together and can pool their money and create these loans and savings, and do it at better rates than banks can. And so that's kind of the community element that is going on here. And I would hope that, this becomes like a model for what DeFi can be and what we can achieve together, and kind of have more of a community governance aspect to it. A lot of these other DeFi projects have a lot of, it could be venture capital whales, or the founders having a lot of influence. Well, in this case, it's not that case at all. It really will be community powered. And I don't think any other DeFi project can say the same as far as, where the power and control in the system comes from. Even though there are some generous distributions to the community, this everyone starts off on the same footing at the start.
Great. So we will keep in contact. Maybe Certic or other auditor let us know that there is no asymmetry, there's no privilege. For example, there are projects that have privileges, and Certic warns about that. So we will see if the code is nice. As you said, it will be open source. So if anyone wants to improve it, they will be able to do it. They will have to change the name and things like that. But it will be a community project. And for example, in Spain is more or less like a mutua. We call it mutua. So it's like a credit union. If you are watching from Spain, you will probably know about the concept, or caja, which is also a concept that right now doesn't exist. So I agree with that vision, and I hope that it will go nicely and as we expect. Thanks for coming. We keep in contact and see you soon.
All right. Thanks.